3, 2, 1, hi. Yes, good morning. This is, in Australia, it is Friday the 13th, it is the morning of. Just thought, this is not a video regarding my personal thoughts on what this coronavirus is doing, or what it's done, or how to avoid it and all that sort of thing, because there's enough people sprouting information, whether it's right or wrong about it. This is basically just an update on based on the events that have happened in the sporting world since, that may affect the upcoming schedule. Now, at the moment, it's important to note in Australia that they haven't banned mass gatherings yet. And it's important to note that yesterday I did receive an email from the organisers of Canberra that at this point, in 3 weeks' time, we still will be running. Now, I know there's a lot to go under the bridge in 3 weeks' time, but unless there's information to the contrary, I will probably be intending at this stage to travel down to Canberra. It is after that I feel as though my schedule will change. It doesn't look as though I'll be down in Melbourne, where I am at the moment, for Easter, as has been the norm for the last few years. The only concern I have personally is I'll probably take a financial hit, because for some reason I booked a motel room that was non-refundable. So I'm kicking myself for that, but at the same time it might end up being a good thing that I'm staying at home, because I might save a few $100s by doing so. I haven't heard anything about what's happening with the Wings for Life event in Perth. I would suggest at this stage it is unlikely. I wouldn't have thought it would be likely that I'm going at this point. If they do insist, as most nations are, on a 30-day ban, I suppose, on the mass gatherings, I would suspect that would come throughout April. Would cover Anzac Day, which I know it's a pretty important day for everyone. And after that will being the first weekend of May. I'm not exactly sure what the situation is, but seeing as though some events in Perth scheduled for May have already been canned for the year, I'd suggest that heading over there is unlikely. Trips to the southeast corner for training at this point are still on. I still have every intention of going to Noosa in May. Personal belief is the very worst of it will be done by May. Will be done by the end of April even, but that is loosely based on the modelling that I've seen of the cases that have happened and the cases that will happen. But as I said, it's not for me to say what's going to happen. I don't want to speculate either way. There's too many people doing that at the moment, and they're often going at the higher end, which always means it's probably going to be lower. But anyway, so at this stage I still intend to run Noosa, and at this point, unless there's information to the contrary saying we cannot go to South Africa, the intention is still to be in South Africa, pending what they do as well, I suppose, in June. Now, at this point, I do note that Kenyan athletes aren't going to be permitted to travel abroad until the end of April, which is fair, which is fine, based on what has happened. It may seem overly precautionary, but the fact now that the NBA has decided to suspend itself, and they're not looking to get back on until mid-April. They're looking for at least 30 days, which would bring that to, I believe, just after Easter. which would probably be about the time, if the modelling is relatively relatively comparable with what's happening in Asia, that the high number of cases will not have been, the high mark of the cases won't have been hit, but there will at least be a slowing of the active cases. Do I have a contingency plan for anything other than for what happens next? At this stage I don't, because at this stage the intention is still to travel. If there's any official information, then I'll have to organise things with work, and I'll have to adjust the calendar accordingly. I'm sure that if there is a postponement, for example, I can still negotiate with accommodation and with the airline, because I booked with Etihad directly, which should make it a lot easier than it would if I did a third-party booking. I'm just trying to think. There's not much else I can say at the moment.
Traveling through to Sydney on flight VA 815, boarding for the services commence now to gate number 6. That's it, traveling through to Sydney on flight VA 815, the 7:30 departure, boarding has commenced to gate number 6. Thank you.
Apologies for that. As you can hear, the domestic flights are still going as planned, and well, I mean, I'm not exactly sure how it's gone, but we'll see how this has affected domestic travel, but we'll see what's happening, I suppose, when we get on the plane later this morning. That said, what else was I trying to think of at the moment? Oh, training. As such, training, I anticipate to still continue training unless, there's some sort of lockdown procedures put in place, which I'm not sure if or when it's going to happen. All I know is that there's no indication for me that I won't be required at work, or there's no indications that I'm going to be too unwell to go to work on Monday. So we'll go to work as normal. We'll probably train as normal, train as normal, and take it by ear, and we'll look and see if there's official communique. There's always a lot of rumour and innuendo on the social media. Just reading another article about something else. Sorry about that. As I said, there's a lot of rumour and scuttlebutt and speculation and guessing. I don't want to do that at this stage in terms of the race, but as I said, until such time that someone officially says it's not on, we're not going, we're not allowed to go, we'll be going at this time. Anyway, just penned a few thoughts. Hope that I'm not sure if it clears anything up or not, but that's my personal situation at the moment. If anything changes, I'm sure I'll be able to let the world know.